Adam Smith, 1723–1790, was once a Scottish social truth seeker and pioneer of classical economics. He is first-rate recognized for his work The Wealth of Nations, which laid down a framework for the groundwork of free market economics. Though regularly regarded a champion of capitalism and laissez-faire economics, he was once additionally conscious of the obstacles of unbridled capitalism and regarded his most vital work to be the theory of moral sentiments. In this work, Smith outlined the significance of sympathy for different humans as a key thing of human morality. He was once exact pals with David Hume, and collectively they have been a key component in the Scottish Enlightenment. Short biography of Adam Smith. Adam Smith was once born June 5, 1723 in Kirkcaldy, Scotland. After analysing at the Burgh School of Kirkcaldy, he entered the University of Glasgow to find out about ethical philosophy. He excelled and won a scholarship to find out about at Balliol College, Oxford University. However, Smith discovered his time in Oxford disappointing. He used to be unimpressed via the well-known of teaching, discovering that most tutors had little activity in teaching. As a consequence, he again to Scotland, the place he commenced giving lectures in Edinburgh earlier than taking up a put-up at Glasgow University. From 1751, he used to be a professor of moral philosophy at Glasgow University. His instructing and lectures grew to be extensively acknowledged, and he attracted college students from all over Europe. Philosophy and ethical sentiments. Around 1750, he met the truth seeker David Hume. They shared a similarity of beliefs about liberty, free speech and philosophy. It grew to be an essential private and mental friendship for Smith, and it performed a necessary position in his personal ethical philosophy. In 1759, he posted the theory of moral sentiments. This developed the concept that in human relations, sympathy for different humans is a key factor of morality and human behavior. How egocentric soever man may additionally be supposed, there are certainly some standards in his nature, which hobby him in the fortune of others, and render their happiness indispensable to him, even though he derives nothing from it without the pleasure of seeing it. The Theory of Moral Sentiments, Section I, ch. This awareness on sympathy may additionally sound contradictory to his later writings on economics, which emphasized how egocentric moves can make a contribution to the higher good. However, Smith was once conscious that taking into account the welfare of others contributed to our personal feeling of well-being. Also, one-of-a-kind elements of existence introduced out unique aspects to people. For example, in designing a factory, you would are seeking to make the most environment-friendly choice, for example division of labor. In identifying how to deal with the poor, human sympathy grew to become an essential factor of character choice. Adam Smith and economics. After ethical philosophy, Smith grew to become extra involved in the concern of political economy. He wrote his groundbreaking e-book The Wealth of Nations in 1776. The equal year as the American Revolution. Smith was once specially fascinated in the thought of division of labor and how people specializing in a unique venture ought to extend the productiveness of labor and enhance residing standards. He used the instance of a pin factory to provide an explanation for how the division of labor should work in practice. The biggest enchantment in the productive powers of labor, and the biggest section of skill, dexterity, and judgment with which it is any the place directed, or applied, appear to have been the results of the division of labor. Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, Book I, ch. 1, p. 7. The Invisible Hand. Smith clarified some present thoughts on economics and helped popularize the idea of an invisible hand in production. He mentioned that if human beings are searching to maximize their very own self-interests, it would lead to an environment-friendly effect for the entire of society. This cautioned there used to be no war between pursuing egocentric ends and the complete society benefiting. He additionally produced a principle suggesting free exchange used to be in everyone's interest, even when it worried importing affordable goods from abroad. Milton Friedman referred to that the biggest contribution of Adam Smith was once to exhibit that change and financial interactions should be together advisable, making all people higher off. This contrasted with the current view, known as the mercantilist view, that the financial pie used to be constant and so turning into prosperous intended having to take off different people. This was once good-sized as Smith lived in an age of empire, the place international locations desired to make the most the wealth of different nations. Smith's new perception of economics confirmed you may want to make bigger welfare, now not via conquest and theft. However, through together really useful trade. Limitations of free markets. Despite imparting a justification for capitalist society and the workings of the market, Smith used to be additionally conscious personal commercial enterprise may want to stop up exploiting customers if they had been now not checked. In particular, he used to be worried about the boom of monopoly power. He additionally supported the imposition of modern fair taxes which took proportionately extra from the wealthy than poor. It is no longer very unreasonable that the wealthy need to make contributions to the public expense, now not solely in share to their revenue. However, something extra than in that proportion. Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations, ch. 2, p. 911. Outside of economics, Smith hostile imperialism, slavery and massive inequality. No society can without a doubt be flourishing and pleased of which throwaways the increased section of the numbers are bad and miserable. Adam Smith. His largest legacy used to be possibly in the improvement of contemporary economics. His work would later be extended upon by means of economists who developed his fashions of grant and demand, such as Walras, General Equilibrium, and Paul Samuelson, Supply and Demand in Wages and Rent. Smith's concept of labor used to be additionally used in phase with the aid of Karl Marx at some stage in his work Capital. Smith was once additionally and vital impact on the free alternate motion of the 19th century and hastened the dying of mercantilism as the prevailing ideology of political economy. Smith is fine remembered for his aid of free markets, even though his work suggests it is greater problematic and now not so black and white. It would be unfair to label him as an unbridled supporter of laissez-faire, no authority's intervention. Smith was once a clear thinker unbridled with dogmatism. Personal life. The first element you have to understand is yourself. A man who is aware of himself can step outdoor himself and watch his very own reactions like an observer. Adam Smith, The Money Game. Smith remained single and stayed shut to his mother, till her passing. He used to be characterized as a substitute ungainly in look and was once alternatively absent-minded in the actual world. He regularly paid little interest to outer details, caught up in his personal world of thinking and ideas. Smith may want to discuss to himself out loud and buddies described a smile of inexpressible benignity. Smith's father used to be a sturdy Christian but, at Oxford, Smith seems to have misplaced pastime in the Christian church, professing beliefs that should be interpreted as deist. Belief in private God comparable to some of the founding fathers of the U.S. In his writings he doesn't make reference to God, however did point out the great architect of the universe, suggesting he did see divine windfall in the workings of the world. Death. Adam Smith died in Edinburgh on June 17, 1790 after a painful illness. Amongst his closing words, he expressed a feel sorry about that he had now not completed more. He requested that his non-public papers would be burnt. Legacy of Adam Smith. The Wealth of Nations is extensively regarded to be one of the most influential books in Western history. It is a cornerstone of contemporary economics, which each supporters and critics reference as a beginning point. It additionally symbolized a pass from the pre-industrial mercantilist age, to a present-day world the place alternatively than empire was once viewed as the modern way forward. what had been the financial beliefs of Adam Smith. In a modern-day setting, we would classify Adam Smith as both a free market economist or a social democrat, center-left. He typically supported free markets and used to be conscious of their efficiencies. However, he was once no longer a libertarian, no government intervention. Whilst helping the effectivity of markets, he was once additionally conscious of the issues of monopolies and exploitation of shoppers and the poor. Smith additionally argued for an innovative tax gadget to pay for public goods. In a way, Smith is a whole lot a centrist economist. Some declare Smith as a champion of capitalism, however this